What's up YouTube? Welcome to BoFitness, and today I'll be giving you guys an overview and review of Jason Blaha, or IceCreamFitness as you may know him, and his 5x5 novice bodybuilding routine. So the program's pretty straightforward. It's 3 full body workouts done 3 times a week. So you alternate these workouts, and the program really calls for linear progression and high volume so that it maximizes the gains that novice bodybuilders can get. So this program is generally recommended for anyone, for novice lifters who've been lifting seriously for under a year. So Jason generally says on on comments, unless you can squat 315 pounds, bench around 200, and deadlift around 375, you generally can still milk some gains out of this program. So as I said earlier, the program is programmed to have you work out with workout A, then B, then A, having at least 48 hours of rest in between each workouts, and doing only 3 workouts per 7 days in the week. So all the workouts generally start with a 5x5 for all the compound movements. And the first exercise that you do for workout A is the barbell back squat. This program calls for a lot of back squatting. So if you're too inflexible to back squat, then you want to start this program, become more flexible. If you have a herniated disc or are medically disabled and can't do these back squats, sorry, you picked the wrong program. So the next movement here is a 5x5 of the barbell bench press. Except you do this the powerlifting style with the back arc, and you rest the bar on your chest and then explode up. So the last big lift for this workout, and that last 5x5, is the barbell bend over row. So it's a conventional barbell row where you bend over 45 degrees and hold it overhand. So the accessory work, the bodybuilding work, because the first part was more like a strong lifts workout with lots of 5x5, here you do the bodybuilding style training, around 8 reps. So the first one you do are barbell shrugs. You do 3 sets by 8. You just do the conventional barbell shrugs where you go up and down with the barbell. And then you do skull crushers. I'll show you the link to his workout video where he explains how to do them properly. But basically you want shoulder extension when you're doing these skull crushers, not the conventional one you see in magazines. And then you do chin-ups, 3 sets of 5 to 8. You can add weight here, you can make them weighted chin-ups. However, if you're not able to do chin-ups yet, if you're not able to do 3 sets of 5, you can do straight bar curls with an Olympic bar or incline curls on an inclined bench with dumbbells. After that are some hyperextensions, 2 by 10. You do these on hyperextension bench. You can do them weighted or unweighted. Doesn't matter as long as you have a starting point where you do 10 reps. And then finally, you do kneeling cable crunches for your abs, 3 sets, 10 to 20 reps. So workout B is pretty much more of the same. You start off with 5x5 of barbell back squats. After that, you do just 1 set of 5 of deadlifts. The reason why there's only 1 set is because deadlifts are very taxing on your body, and you can practice your form and your technique with lighter warm-up sets. After the deadlifts, you do the barbell overhead press 5x5, where you bring the bar all the way up, and then you bring the bar all the way down to your upper chest. No cheating here. So the last exercise that you do 5x5 with are the barbell bent over rows again. 5x5 again. Except you reduce the weight that you used from your workout A by 10% and use that as your working set. So following those are the accessory movements, and there aren't that many this day. Just 3. So first off is the barbell close grip bench press. Get your chest and your triceps a little stimulation. You do 3 sets of 8 reps. After that, you do incline curls on a slightly inclined bench, about 20 degrees, and you do incline curls at the same time. You do both arms at the same time for your biceps. After that, you do kneeling cable crunches again, 3 sets of 10 to 20 reps. So now that you know what workouts you're going to do, you have to know where to start, what weights to start with. So the first thing you do is test or calculate online, because it's quite difficult to test your true 1 rep max for your estimated 1 rep max for all of the lifts. And then you use 75% of that for your sets of 5. So that's for the deadlifts and other compound movements. And you use 65% of that for your sets of 8. So this program uses a linear progression, because linear progression is how novices can get their best gains. So this works by adding 5 pounds to every single compound movement that you do. So you add 2.5 pounds to each side of the bar. And then for your accessory movements, for your 3x8 and your 2x10 and your 3x10 to 20, you can add 5 pounds to each of them. However, it's not as important as adding it to the compound movements. So the program calls for straight sets. So you use the same weight for every single set that you do. Doesn't matter how good you feel, you just do the same weight and then progress the next time. So with linear progression, you're definitely going to reach failure eventually because even novices have limits to their progression. So you've reached failure if there's significant form degradation, if your spotter helped you, or if you just flat out failed on your reps. So once you reach failure, you reduce the weight immediately by 10 to 15%. You finish your working sets during that workout, and then in the next workout when you're going to do that lift, you rebuild from there. You start from that reduced number. So the first thing that you should remember is do not add more volume, do not add more sets, do not add more workout days, especially don't add more workout days. This program already pushes you to the limit as it is, and you'll probably get injured if you do it. And when I was on this program, I wanted an extra day, I wanted an extra week off. So this program doesn't have any direct work, specific work for calves and forearms because these things are hit indirectly by other movements like squats and deadlifts. And they're very individual. So you only add them as necessary. So the rest times for this program that I've seen on the bodybuilding.com fed, for the 5 rep sets, you want to rest 3 to 5 minutes in between sets. So if you're feeling good that day, you can rest just 3 minutes. However, if you're in the last few sets and you're having a difficult time completing the sets and you're feeling fatigued, you can take as long as you want, as long as you get the work done. And for the 8 plus rep sets, you rest 1 to 2 minutes in between. It's not too important that you follow this because there are other things that are happening in the gym. It might not be possible for you to do that in 1 to 2 minutes, but it can help with your conditioning and with metabolic fatigue. So for warm-ups and even for recovery, this program really calls for foam rolling because if you just get new into this, if you just transition from a bodybuilding split to a whole body workouts and something this high volume, you're going to be very sore and you're going to be very fatigued. And foam rolling will help a lot with this. So when you're actually doing your working sets, you can ramp up in the weight. You can start off light and then gradually increase the weight until you reach your working sets. And you can do some dynamic stretching before your workouts. So you can do it with some bands or just do the body weight. For recovery, you can stretch and foam roll whatever's sore. And trust me, it's going to be plenty sore. So the common question is, can I use dumbbells instead of barbells? Can I substitute this for that? And Jason generally recommends that you stick to barbells, especially for the 5x5s, because those are all you need in a power rack. And it's much easier to add small weights, and you're not limited by other factors like your abs and how to get them up. But if you're substituting something else, like barbell shrugs for face pulls, you can ask Jason himself on his Facebook page or his YouTube page. But it's generally recommended that you stick to the program as it's written. So the first thing that a lot of people think when they see 5 reps, they think low reps, it must be powerlifting. And while this program will give you a lot of strength, this is primarily for maximum hypertrophy. If you want a powerlifting program, if those are your goals, while this may help you get a good foundation of strength and size, it won't win you any meets and it won't make you a powerlifting champion. So this program is meant for people who are bulking, who are trying to gain mass, the specific 5x5 and the 3x8. So he calls for a 10 to 20% calorie surplus. You get enough protein and you get enough fats. And then you fill in the rest with whatever you like. I have a video on how to track your macros and how to get the macros that you need. I'll put a link to it somewhere in the screen. And there's no time that you're supposed to eat. You're not supposed to eat pre-workout or post-workout. Just eat when it's convenient to you and whenever you can get in those calories. So there is a cutting version of this program where you're in a caloric deficit. So you reduce the volume of the 5x5 to 3 sets by 5 reps, and then you reduce the volume of 3x8 to 2x8. You leave the deadlifts and the hyperextensions alone. So there's no cardio prescribed in this program, but that doesn't give you an excuse to be a fat ass. There's plenty of conditioning work in this program, and if you're just resting 1 to 2 minutes in between heavy sets of 8, that's enough conditioning work, and that was enough for me. So there's no jogging or any even high intensity cardio unless it's required by your goals. So if you want to burn more calories so you can eat more food, you do more cardio. So now that you know a little bit about the program, I'll tell you some of the pros that I found in my 5 months on this program. So the first thing I noticed was that there's rapid strength progression. And my form wasn't that good when I started, but when I started to get it right, my squat flew up. My squat went up by about 40 pounds on this program in just 5 months, and I don't think I could have gotten that with a bro split. So another thing I noticed was an increased work capacity because my body adapted really fast, because at the start I was dead after a few sessions of training, And then after a while, my strength actually maintained after the first few sets. And the last and most important thing that I noticed is there's very frequent training. You hit some muscles 3 times a week even without too much risk for overuse injuries because you're only training 3 times a week. So with so much frequency and small risk of injury, more gains. And for some cons, I didn't actually find too many cons with the program itself. It's just more of the side effects of the program because this program will take the life out of you if you don't recover enough and if you're not eating enough. Because linear progression, that's crazy, and then the volume, it's so high. So if you're not recovering enough, if you're not stretching and foam rolling, if your shoulders, if your hips, if your legs, if they're getting injured and they're getting overused and you're not paying attention to them, your life will be very miserable and squats become boring. You do squats 5 by 5 every week, every time. You get tired of it after a while. So in conclusion, this program is actually very good. It's very well written and it will get you results. It actually helped me tremendously. It gave me lots of strength gains. However, if it's not in line with your goals, if you're not trying to get maximum hypertrophy, if you're not trying to get as gigantic as possible, and you don't have the time necessary for the recovery, you don't have the time necessary in the gym to do this, if you don't have the mental strength to just go to the gym 3 times a week and stay there for 2 hours and beat yourself up training legs every single time, this may not be the program for you. However, if you think you're up to it, if you're ready to sacrifice a little to get max results, this program, I think it's going to be good for you. So I hope you found this video informative. Please like the video if you liked it. Go to Jason's channel. He has very good information. Awesome guy. And he's very accessible too. Comment, subscribe. Peace.